Hi everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and today you're watching me on Bowdabra, and we have something really unique today. We're going to be creating a Father's Day fishing themed wreath. So to start off with, we're going to of course need our Bowdabra, but we have a whole slew of ribbons today, and this video I thought we would take our time and kind of really go in depth. You guys know me as working really fast, so if you have any questions along the way, feel free to comment them down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer them for you all. So I found this ribbon. I've had it for a couple of years and I love it. It has fish on it, and so I don't actually fish, but I am a fish keeper in that sense. I love having aquariums in the home, so I would love to be gifted a wreath like this myself, but I know a lot of people fish, a lot of fathers fish, so I think this is going to be the perfect wreath for a man cave. So we have this ribbon, we have a little bit of this, another moss green ribbon, we have a polka dot one which we've used in the past, but I just think it works so well together. We have some regular burlap, we have all different shades, and we even have this one. Give some hearts if this one's kind of funny. Duck hunting. I thought this was cool. One of my followers actually sent me this, and I thought it was really cool. It has mallard on it, duck, blind, bird, hunting. You know, it's really outdoorsy. So we have this one. As you come in, also let me know where you're watching from and what time it is for you all. It's 7 o'clock here in Massachusetts, but I know you guys are watching from everywhere. So let's start off with this one. I'm thinking we're going to do something a little bit different, and we also are going to construct a wreath. And we have some of these little fishies that we're going to add to it, which are kind of cool. So let's start off with this ribbon. So we also have the Bowdabra Wire, and if you're interested in winning a free roll of ribbon, comment down below that you'd like to win, and be sure to stick around for the video, and we'll draw a winner at the end of the video. So this is a 100-yard spool of the Bowdabra Wire, and it is quite a sturdy wire. It holds its shape great. So we're going to cut a length of this off, and I do have a large Bowdabra. Bowdabra also has a smaller version for little hair bows and stuff like that. That's something that I haven't dived into, and I don't foresee doing it, but of course if you are making little hair bows, it does have a smaller version. So I'm just taking my wire, placing it directly through the middle of the Bowdabra, and now we're going to start adding some of our fishing ribbon. So we have a number of different ways we can do this, but I'm going to create pretty decent sized loops, about 4.5–5 inches. I don't want to go overboard because we are adding it to a 14-inch grapevine. So we have one tail that's extending about, well, even make it a little bit longer. I really want this fishing ribbon to extend down in the front of the wreath. So our loops are going to be about 4.5–5 inches, and our tails are going to be wherever the first fish is. So I'm cutting it so that the fish is in its entirety. I don't want to cut off the fish and ruin them.
So we have Debbie from Dallas watching, 6 p.m. there. Edna says 7 here in Maryland. Cassie says 9 a.m. Tuesday in Sydney, Australia. Ooh. Wow. Sherry says, hi, Nick.
Welcome.
Jerry says watching from Bama at 6.
Thank you guys for watching. Behind the camera today is my sister Alex. And how many of you guys saw Alex make her first wreath yesterday? She was incredibly nervous, and now all she's doing is looking at the numbers to see the numbers go up, and she's also seeing the comments, and you know, she appreciates all of your support.
Yeah, it was fun, guys. I had a blast.
Her very first wreath and a bow. We put her on the spot the final 5 minutes of the video, and she designed her own bow, which was awesome to see.
We have Andrea who says it's 4 p.m. in Vancouver.
4 p.m. Time just slips away now. It's been so beautiful the last couple of days. Today was another 70-degree day. So let me know what the weather was like for you. 70 degrees here in Massachusetts the first week of May is something that we very rarely get. So I'm coming back in with another piece of the fishing ribbon. And notice what I'm doing is I have one loop on one side and the other color of the loop on the opposing side. That's just to balance off the loops and the tails so we don't have too much on one side and not enough on the other.
Hi, Edna. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Jerry. Ooh, everyone says I did good.
You did do good. I was proud of her. But at this point in time, if you guys don't mind sharing this video, I greatly appreciate it. I know a lot of you guys struggle with bow making, and I'm here to say that it's not that complicated. I know that sounds kind of crazy, and I've been doing it for several years, but trust me, once you create the perfect bow, you're going to memorize how to do it, and then you're going to repeat that process over and over again. So I'm going to just stick with 2 ribbons today. I think that'll give us the effect that I want. I don't think we need more in this particular bow. But if you wanted to add more ribbons, you certainly can. and just switch off like we're doing.
Brenda says, sprinkled with love, and I am from Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Ooh,
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so now we'll come back in with another one of the fishing one, and I think this might do it. I don't think we're going to have to add too many loops. And then we can construct a bow. Who's excited to see a bow? Nope, that's what we're doing. I mean, construct a wreath. Sorry, you guys. We're going to create a wreath using this.
Sadie says, hello from Idaho, the gem state. Edna
And
says,
the potato
shared.
state. Isn't that Idaho?
Yeah, Idaho potatoes.
Idaho potatoes. Thank you guys for joining. Now I'm going to take my wires, pull them up through the loops. So we created, since we folded the wire over, we do have one loop on one side and then two ends of the wire on the other side. So we're pulling it to one side and then giving it a good tug. And the Bowdabra does come with a piece in the middle, kind of a brace that you use to push down your ribbons. Everybody uses every tool differently, so I actually don't use it. I found it for the first time in probably 6 years. Last night, actually. I found it and I was like, what is this for? But it is a great tool if you don't want to have your hands. It looks like this and you just compress your ribbons. But all I do is I just press the middle portion down and it keeps them all in place. So now we can pull it out. It's not tied yet, so we're going to take one of the wires, wrap it around the bow, give it another squeeze, and create some knots in the back. How ugly is that so far? So now it's the most important step when creating a bow. It's to not dovetail. That's obviously another important step, but it is to fluff. So you could have the cheapest quality ribbon, you could have the most expensive quality ribbon. It makes a difference, but I think more than anything, the biggest benefactor for your bows is to give them a good fluff. So we're just dovetailing, and to do this, what are we going to do, Alex?
Fold from the inside to the outside,
yeah,
and then cut from the outside to the inside to the outside.
Exactly. So from inside to outside. You see this? We're cutting from the middle out towards the edge at an angle, and that just creates a little dovetail. It looks like we cut the fish head off of that a little bit, but that's inevitable. Ooh, I'm surprised I was able to say that word. That's definitely a word that I struggle with. Inevitable. Okay.
Kathy says, good evening from downtown Bethel, Maine. It's freezing cold and windy again tonight. Love the fish ribbon. Thank you for sharing your time with us.
Of course. So I hope everybody's staying safe. It's a crazy time right now. But we're just trying to make the best of it. And hopefully these videos are keeping you company, or at least keeping you a little bit entertained. And if it is, let us know. It gives us the motivation to continue doing lots and lots of videos. But now let's add it to our wreath. So I'm just going to move everything out of the way. And then in the meantime, while we design this wreath, if you guys have any questions about bow making in general, I will be more than happy to answer them. But we're going to take our bow and we're going to place it on one side. So this grapevine is actually, so we created something on it and I didn't like the way it looked, so I just took everything off. So we do have a little bit of hot glue, and to cover that up, all I'm doing is I'm taking the wire and placing the bow right over the ugly spot. So that's a great tool too, is if you have grapevines, since they're a natural product, the best way to obscure them and make them look perfectly even is to place your elements on the side that you like the least, and then have the side that you like the best open without anything. So now we can cut off those wires since we tightened it, and now we can give our bow a good fluff.
Beth Ann says, you always make it look so easy.
It is so easy. Trust me on that, you guys. You can easily do this.
Carolyn says, hello from South Texas. Love watching you design.
Thank you.
Carol says, newbie question, is the ribbon wired?
This ribbon is wired, yep. And typically I only work with wired ribbon. For hair bows and stuff like that, I'm sure you could just use satin and other types of ribbon. But for my wreaths, I always use wired ribbon. It holds its shape the best, and I think it just gives the best look. So we forgot one tail. We'll dovetail our last piece. Pull our loops forward. Give everything a good fluff. And there we have a very simple little bow. So now it's time to adorn our wreath a little bit. I'm going to cut this tail a little bit shorter. So we have a number of products. We have greenery. We have dried lotus pods. We have grapevine steers. We have you name it. We got it. So I'm going to cut off some of this greenery. It's one of my favorites, and it looks like algae to me. It has the perfect color for it. So I'm just moving my glue skillet. This is another one of my favorite tools, you guys. I love that, and I use it every single day. And for those of you that have been watching me for a while or have seen a few of my recent videos, I've talked about it. This glue skillet actually broke its leg the first day I got it. I dropped it.
Bless me. Bless Sorry.
You. Uh-oh. So we're going to just place a few of these pieces underneath our bow. And I always make sure to tuck in a little bit of greenery around my bow. This greenery is stuck together. There we go.
Carol says, love that ribbon. Sprinkle from sunny Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Linda says, watching and learning in Cochran? Hope I'm saying that right. Georgia.
My dad loves Georgia. He's actually looking to move to Georgia. I don't know if that's in the near future, but he loves the state of Georgia.
Jane says, greetings from Ohio. Love watching the artistry and the teacher.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Patty says, beautiful. Edna says, where did you get the glue pan?
So I purchased mine a few years back on Amazon, and then once I posted the link, they all sold out really fast. And then the next shipment they got in, they really jacked up the price, so I didn't recommend them anymore. But you could purchase them online. It's just a regular glue skillet. And I like to keep mine on a medium temperature. And the reason behind that is if you get it any hotter, it tends to like really liquefy. And you definitely don't want that to happen because you can burn yourself very easily. So we're just adding a little bit of greenery. What do you guys think so far? We'll tuck in a few more pieces, and then we can add some fish and some other little embellishments.
Thank you, Beth. Carol asked, where did you buy that ribbon?
I've had this fish ribbon for a couple of years. I'm thinking Craft Outlet. And if not Craft Outlet, Trendy Tree, they should have that as well.
Lisa says, hi, everyone. Terry says, perfect San Diego.
San Diego.
I know. Marianne says, hello, Nick and Star is Born Alex. Great ribbon. Hello, Marianne.
Yeah, she did a great job last night for her very first, not her first live. She's been in my videos before, but her first start to finish wreath. So she did a great job. We'll place a few more little bits and pieces of greenery. Notice I'm just popping these off. One of the best ways to enhance your bows is to actually take your greenery or your flowers and place it directly into your bow. So just adding those few little pieces of greenery really makes the bow look as though it's incorporated and that there's layers. So I highly encourage you to do so. Now we can add some fish. So we have this little fish that we can poke in. Let's see where we want it. Maybe up top, and then we'll have this bigger one down below.
Beth says beautiful. Gianna says love it.
Thank you.
We have Janie from Texas watching. Kathy says it's hot in Texas.
I can imagine. When we were in Texas, actually, it was probably the coldest time Texas has had in a while. So here we have our little fish that we can poke in anywhere. Where do I want to add this? Maybe I'll just cut a scrap stem. So here we have some lotus pods, which I'm just going to pop right off.
Carol says, I finally caught a live. Yes, great for a fisher in someone's life.
Exactly. I agree. So this one's missing its stick, the skewer. So I'm just making my own by taking a scrap stem. Then we can take our fish and poke it in. And you can come back in with more elements. We have some of these little grapevine balls that we could add. So I'm just going to take a little bit of hot glue and hot glue them within the bow.
Lisa and Beth said that would be a great Father's Day present.
I think so too. I mean, my dad's never been the fishing type, personally, but a lot of dads are outdoorsy, and I think this would be the perfect wreath for a man cave. What do you guys think? Give some hearts. That took no time at all. Super simple, super easy, and makes great gifts. So here we have a little fishing wreath. Now let's create another bow. So, you know what I was thinking of trying was I was thinking of trying this 2.5-inch deco mesh. So I've had this for a number of years. I used to work with 5-inch, and I think I used to work with this quite frequently too. And then I just grew sick of it. But I just found this recently, and I figured might as well give it a try. So again, we'll feed our Bowdabra with a little bit of wire.
Janie says, those things give me the heebie-jeebies.
The fish?
Yeah. Marianne says, love the way you make it pop. You make it look so easy.
It is easy. You can totally do it. Practice makes perfect, even though none of us are perfect. But we're going to place a little bit of this. I'm thinking we're just going to do a typical bow without any tails. And we'll see how great this holds its shape. So this would be probably the perfect bow for, you know, like a mailbox or a lantern outside. And when I mean lantern, I don't mean like the little ones that we decorate. I'm talking like the full-size lanterns people have in their yard. I think these look great hanging from them. So we'll just continue adding loops. And this ribbon, even though I wouldn't really classify it as ribbon, I mean, you can. But this deco mesh was only a few dollars. And they have them in every single color imaginable. They have them in premium deco mesh. They have them in basic like this. Poly jute like this. Iridescent tinsel, striped. So let's create a few more loops. And this one, since it's not wired, you're not going to want to, you're going to try to have to force it to stay in position. That's why wired ribbon is so much easier, but this is just an example that you can use whatever ribbon you have. If you can't afford to go out and purchase new rolls of ribbon, no problem. You can use whatever you have. And lots of people, myself included, always save little bits and pieces of ribbon that you get from gifts. So if you have little extra pieces of ribbon, you can put it in the Bowdabra and create a little bow. So I'm thinking we'll just do one more on either side, and this should give us a nice full bow once we fluff it out.
Jill says the wire makes a big difference.
It does. It does, but this is still a pretty bow. Okay, so here's our final piece. Cut it a little bit longer just in case the wire becomes loose. Pull it through to the other side of the Bowdabra.
Edna says, my basement flooded. Thank gosh her Bowdabra and ribbon didn't get wet.
Thank gosh. Yeah, we've had our basement flood too, a number of times. Not a nice thing. So again, really, really tight, you guys. And then we'll just secure it from behind. Pull it over one more time and secure once more. Okay. Now we can pull out our loops to the best of our ability. As I've said before, this is not wired ribbon, so it's not going to hold its shape as greatly as a wired ribbon would. But since we created so many loops, the loops act as an anchor for the other loops and keeps everything in place. What do you think of that? Isn't that kind of pretty? Something different? Simple, easy, very inexpensive. So let's create another pretty bow. Let's add a little bit of color now. So we have some of this pink ribbon. This came from Hobby Lobby a few years back. Picked it up on clearance for $1.59, but I really like it. It is a silk type material. It is wired though. We'll come back in with some fuchsia ribbon as well. So let's create a double ribbon bow, a double ribbon traditional bow. But at this time, if you guys don't mind sharing this video and giving it a like, I greatly appreciate it. We do have links for the Bowdabra in the comment section. Bowdabra will be posting links in case you're interested in purchasing one.
Carol asks, what size of ribbon would you use for a cross center?
A cross, for the center of a cross. So my favorite size of all time is 1.5 inch ribbon. And you know, 99% of the projects, I'd rather work that in than any other size. But sometimes that's just not feasible. So to start off with, let's cut some tails.
Kathy says, love it. Beth says, cute. Valerie says, my bows never look that good, but I keep trying.
Keep trying, you'll get it. Trust me on that. So this ribbon's a little wrinkly for a brand new roll, but we'll make it work. Hey, Barbara. So what I've done now is I've layered the ribbon on top of each other, and that's an easy way to create a double ribbon bow. We can drop them to the floor, run out some ribbon, and then we can start creating some loops. So you can create as many loops or as few loops as you would like. The choice is up to you when creating your bows. For spring and summer, I recommend doing less loops rather than more. That way you have the possibility of coming back in with additional greenery and florals and stuff like that and poking it into the bow.
Patty says our Hobby Lobby just opened this past Friday. Oh, happy day.
Oh my gosh, I know, I miss my Hobby Lobby. We haven't been to Hobby Lobby in, I'd like to say 2.5, 3 months. It's been a long time. Okay, so we'll add a couple more loops. Again, double loops. So since we're doing double loops, think of it as every loop you're adding is actually double the amount. So if you're adding 1 loop, it's 2. And if we have 2 loops on either side, which is what we currently have, it's actually 4 loops on either side. So we'll stop at 3. So we'll do 1 more loop. So here's our last loop. Pinch in the middle, twist around, and gather. So now we'll take our wires. We compressed our bow. We'll take our wires to one side. And comment down below if you would like to win a free roll of ribbon. Bowdabra is generous enough to give away a free roll of ribbon. So comment that you'd like to win, and then stick around because we're going to give it away. So I'm just taking my wires now and just wrapping it around the bow. Pulling really tight.
Beth asked, do you just twist it over each side because it's one-sided ribbon? Like when you twist?
Yeah. Yeah. I always twist 180 degrees so that the ribbon is completely reversed. It's just by habit, and it always creates more tension in the middle and holds your loops up better. So that's just what I do. But if it's a one-sided ribbon, you don't really have to completely twist it 180 degrees, but I just like to anyway. So now we have our 6 loops. What we can do is we can separate them. And we can keep them together, or we can separate them all together just by pulling them apart. Holding the bow backwards while I fluff. So the most important part is fluffing, and I always constantly fluff. Even when I take pictures, I'm constantly adjusting things to get them as picture perfect and customer perfect as possible. What do you guys think of that bow? Pretty? Lots of people would like to win. Awesome. I think that's very pretty. How are we doing on time? 7:23. So let's create another bow. I found this ribbon yesterday too, and I thought it was a really pretty ribbon. So let's create one using this 2.5-inch denim with the daisies. And I think this would work great for spring. I think it would work great for summer, and I also think it would work great for fall. I love the blue denim for fall. Reminds me of a scarecrow. So I like working that in. So we're going to cut another length of the wire.
Lots of people think that bow is beautiful.
Thank you, guys. So again, to start off with, we'll just cut our tails. You can cut them however long you would like. I do recommend cutting them longer than shorter, just to compensate for the fact that you may decide to change your mind afterwards. And it's always easier to take away a ribbon. And of course, we don't want to be wasteful, but I don't mind wasting, as much as a foot of my roll of ribbon versus having to cut a whole new piece to add. So we'll just place our tails in to start off with.
Beth says, I need something for my front door. Jan says, love denim and daisies. And Donna says she loves her Bowdabra.
Me too. So let's decide. Do we want to create a funky bow, traditional bow? Let's do something funky. So we're going to just create random lengths of ribbon. We're going to create our loops about 3.5 or so inches long. And we'll begin placing them in opposite directions. So this is going to have some long tails, and it's also going to have some shorter tails that really showcase the daisies. So we'll add another piece right here, separate those pieces out, like that. We'll continue adding more. So you can add as many tails or as few tails as you would like. We'll place another one, and I'm thinking we'll do one more, and that should give us the effect that I would like. So we'll do one more of these.
Barbara says he makes it look so easy.
Thank you, Barbara. You can do this. Trust me on that. Okay, so I'm thinking that's a good amount of ribbon. That is a lot of ribbon. Now we can take our ribbon out of the Bowdabra.
We have our winner for tonight.
Ooh.
So congratulations to Beth Ann Gooding.
Ooh, congratulations, Beth. So message Bowdabra, and then they'll be happy to send you the choice of ribbons, and you can pick your ribbon. And then you just got a roll of ribbon. How awesome is that? So Bowdabra gives away a roll of ribbon for every live that they do. And they are live every Monday. Sandy's live every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern as well. And I will be live the first Monday of each month. So I'll see you all next month for the first Monday. I don't know which day it's going to be this for June. But let us know what you guys would like to see as well. We're always constantly taking your suggestions into consideration. But real quick, we'll dovetail the ends, create a professional looking end, which I find to be incredibly important. But I hope you all are staying safe, like I said before. That's all we can do at this point. Massachusetts is getting hit hard. So quickly dovetail, quickly dovetail. And I think that's it. Do you see any more? Oh, I see like 4 more. So there's 2 right here, and hopefully that's it. And then we can quickly fluff it and show you guys how it turned out. Okay. So looking kind of funky. All we have to do is run our fingers through the wire. And keep in mind, every ribbon you use always looks better once it's attached to its finished product. So I do take pictures of my bows just solo on my wall without anything around it. But by having grapevine, evergreen, styrofoam, you name it, whatever base you're working with, to support the loops, no matter how thick the wire is, it always seems to look a little bit better once you do that. So I'll have pictures posted of all of the bows that we made today. We made this one. Let's do a quick little rundown. We made a summer daisy one, spring, summer, and fall daisy one. We made a solid 2.5-inch deco mesh without wire. So this would be great for virtually anywhere. This is very outdoor friendly compared to other ribbons we've used. We also created a pretty pink one. That's a 2 ribbon one, a 1.5-inch ribbon, and a 2.5-inch fuchsia one that we separated. And lastly, we created a beautiful Father's Day wreath, or fishing wreath, or you name it, outdoorsy wreath. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully I inspired you to get your Bowdabra and start practicing making bows. I know a lot of people struggle with them, but trust me on it, you guys. You totally can make bows. It's so easy. So I want to thank Sandy of Bowdabra for having me today, and I'll see you all June something, the first Monday of June. So thanks again for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.